We're here with Monica Guzman, who is running for Austin City Council, District 4. And Monica, will you tell us a little bit about why you're running and what distinguishes you from the other people running in your district?
Well, being a native Austinite, between me and my opponents, I'm the only native Austinite born and raised here. I have long roots in the community, both in the district and beyond. I'm also an activist on issues regarding public education, housing affordability, health care for everybody. I've already been doing that for several years, and I think being on council would give me an opportunity to do it in an official capacity, so to affect positive change.
Excellent. When you think of the next 5 years in Austin, what is your highest hope, and what is your greatest fear?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Sure. When you think about the next 5 years in Austin, what is your, where do you hope we can go in the next 5 years? And where are you afraid it might go?
Let me start with the afraid. What I'm afraid it might go is just a continuation of gentrification, like happened in Central East Austin, which is for the most part District 3. District 4 is still relatively affordable, and I'm not using that in terms of some political buzzword. I mean, you can actually find market rate apartments at a decent price. It's not going to break your bank each month. We also have affordable housing with subsidized rent, reduced rent, but it's also a lot of property that's been abandoned or undeveloped. It's a high crime area, which is the Restore Runberg initiative addressing that. Well, as is documented anywhere you look, when crime comes down, property values go up, and that's a beacon for developers to come in, like happened with Central East Austin. And then when they come in, unfortunately, they have a greater political voice than the community. If the community doesn't know how to push back or to hold on to what's going on, then they're going to get pushed out. And that's what I'm afraid of. That's part of the reason I had to bounce around. Being a single parent since I was 21, you know, I was moving around frequently, always trying to find a good deal. I didn't know about the subsidized housing, subsidized rent. I just look for a deal. As soon as the lease is over, on to somewhere else.
Okay. Being an elected official and leader means having priorities and forwarding them. If you could accomplish one thing while being in office, what would you want to accomplish?
To improve the affordability of the district and citywide. And that actually is more an umbrella term. It's housing, it's transportation, educational opportunities outside of the school district, such as career training programs for students, high school and college students, for adults, especially those who they either want to improve their situation or maybe they didn't get beyond a high school diploma. They want something else, but they just don't want college.
So say more about the transportation part. Like what do you think we need to be forwarding? Are you for Proposition 1 and or what mix of solutions do you think we should be pressing on?
I do support rail, the concept of rail. I do not support Proposition 1. The claimed community outreach is not what it was, or I don't believe that it was what they say it was, and I know it wasn't, because they needed to make sure that they reached across digital and language barriers. And there's a lot of that in District 4 as well as Districts 1, 2, and 3, at least the digital barrier. And if they don't work on that offline and with enough groups, a lot of people are left out of the conversation.
So what transportation solutions should we be forwarding?
Well, as we look for something that does work with the rail, we need to expand the existing bus routes, increase the frequency that they run, possibly add new routes to areas that may need it that aren't addressed, infrastructure for District 4, that way we can have increased pedestrian traffic that's safe.
Like sidewalks?
Sidewalks, yes, absolutely.
Bike
lanes.
Okay.
And as we find a way to make rail, bring that in and make it affordable for those who do, not only for those who use it, but those who aren't using it but still paying for it.
You say one of your top priorities is water conservation. What do we need to do to go further? I mean, we're already doing a lot, but what can we do to go further? Well,
the purple pipes for reclaimed water, I think there needs to be more of them. I think we need to look into basically thinking outside the box, at least for me it is, looking at better ways to capture and reuse water, especially non-potable. There are other cities, at least one in Texas, if I recall correctly, that has set up a system, I believe they call it osmosis, to clean that water. That way it can be used for drinking purposes, or maybe something that's not drinking but something more than what we can do with it now. Use it with not only new developments, but see about incorporating it when an existing development wants to upgrade. Find some way to make it attractive to them. Okay, if you're going to do an upgrade, can you also upgrade your water system going with this? Maybe it may include some sort of rebate or an incentive. It has to be something equitable and truly affordable, cost effective, but find some way to increase that. I also would love to do away with the allocation billing on the water bills. That's not about conservation, it's more economical, but it really hits a population, the low income and near low income hard, because it's not fair billing.
You also have some strong thoughts about energy and what we should be emphasizing moving forward, or not emphasizing. Say more about that.
Well, excuse me. What I know about the energy, one, we need solar power, so it was great when City Council finally passed that resolution just a couple of weeks ago, and the community, Sierra Club, and all the different supporters have been really strong at it. I've been at one of the press conferences. I have spoken to the Austin Energy Generation Resource Planning Task Force. There's a mouthful. In their report, they have what's called equity recommendations. That is the weatherization program. Not only does that improve energy consumption in older properties, it also brings the bills down for the low income, near low income, and that creates jobs. It's a win-win situation. When it creates jobs, that means it's less of a tax burden on everybody in the city.
Okay. Great. Any other priorities that you want to share that have to do with the environment?
Educating everybody, first making sure city staff is up to speed on what's going on. I know how that can be, having public service in my background, but when they do really thorough outreach, and again, across digital and language barriers. Partner with the school district or the county and the city and the school districts, not just AISD. We do have 5 or 6 ISDs in the Austin area, and find a way to teach the children from high school on down, because the younger they learn about it, the greater and more long-lasting the effects.
Great. Thank you so much for being here and interviewing with me, and best wishes.
Well, thank you.